Okay, so we're seeing some potentially massive moves coming from the White House, and it's aimed squarely at the banking industry.
Right? And this isn't just a slap on the wrist. We're talking about a potential executive order.
Exactly. The report is that President Trump is planning to sign an order that would launch a full blown investigation into debanking.
Debanking. That's a term we've heard a lot, especially from the crypto world. What does it actually mean in this context?
It's this idea that banks are systematically cutting off services to entire industries or groups of people they find, well, risky or undesirable. And the
hmm
two big groups in the crosshairs here are crypto companies and political conservatives.
So, the crypto industry has been screaming about this for a while, right? They feel like they've been unfairly targeted.
Oh, absolutely. They've even got a name for it: Operation Choke Point 2.0.
That sounds dramatic. Where did that come from?
It's a callback to an Obama era program. But this new version, 2.0, is what crypto execs are calling the alleged effort by the Biden administration to pressure banks into dropping them,
Right.
especially after the whole FTX collapse.
And is there any proof of this, or is it just a feeling?
Well, that's the thing. It's not just a conspiracy theory anymore. Coinbase's chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, testified before Congress saying the FDIC basically bludgeoned the banks with questions and pressure.
Wow, bludgeoned is a strong word.
It is. And they backed it up. A Freedom of Information Act lawsuit actually uncovered a redacted letter where the FDIC told a company to pause its crypto activities. So there's smoke, and it looks a lot like fire.
Yeah. Okay, so the executive order would tell regulators to, what, look into these claims?
Yes, and more. It would direct them to probe if banks broke any laws. We're talking antitrust, consumer protection, fair lending
Okay.
laws. And it's not just a look-see. Violators could face fines or even legal action from the Department of Justice.
So it has teeth. But you said it wasn't just about crypto.
Not at all. The other major prong of this is investigating claims that banks are denying services to conservatives based on their political beliefs. The draft order even specifically criticizes banks that helped federal investigators probe the January 6th Capitol riots.
Hold on, though. From the bank's perspective, don't they have the right to manage their own risk? They call it de-risking, right? If a client seems like a legal or reputational nightmare, can't they just close the account?
That's the classic defense, and you're right, they do have broad discretion. But this order is basically asking the question, where is the
Right.
line? When does de-risking become illegal discrimination or a violation of fair lending practices? It's like saying a restaurant can refuse service, but they can't refuse service based on someone's race. This order is trying to define what's off limits for banks.
So it's trying to draw a new line in the sand.
A very clear one. In fact, the draft order would demand that regulators scrap any of their own policies that might have encouraged this kind of behavior.
So they're going after the regulators and the banks.
It seems like it. It's a top-to-bottom review. The Small Business Administration is even being asked to review its loan guarantee practices. It's a really comprehensive approach.
It's fascinating because we've already seen some regulators like the Fed start to back away from examining for reputational risk. Is this order pushing them to go further, faster?
It certainly seems that way. It's formalizing that push. It's one thing for a regulator to change its internal policy. It's another thing entirely for the White House to issue an executive order demanding a systemic investigation with the threat of DOJ involvement.
So, what happens now? They're saying Trump could sign this as soon as this week?
That's the report. Things could change, of course, but it signals a major potential shift in how Washington views the power of banks and who they serve. This is a huge deal for the crypto industry and for political figures who feel they've been sidelined by the financial system.
It really feels like the financial world is becoming a new political and cultural battleground.
It absolutely is, and this executive order could be the opening shot in a whole new war.